In this video, we're going to talk about how to use your files you created at school in Repl. I've taken the liberty of uploading your files to the classroom folder for this class. So I'm going to access that, make sure it's there by clicking on that icon. Your directory will be not as full as mine, but you should have a WD101 directory in there. Just double check that the files are actually in there by opening it up. And you should see an HTML5. Again, I have more files than you do in yours. So that just makes sure that the file is there. To use files from your Chromebook is very simple. You don't have to download or extract like you would if you're using a computer, which I will be making another video on how to do that. So in this case, to access those files, you need to open up the Files app that's on your Chromebook. If you can't find it on the toolbar, you can click on Search and type in Files, and the app will show up. It's a red file folder in a blue circle, or a white file folder in a blue circle. All right, so now I have my files open. You'll notice that you have a My Files and a download directory. That is the internal storage of your Chromebook. You also have a Google Drive link. If you click on that, it should open up your files. All of the files for classes in your Google Classroom are in the Classroom subdirectory. You will have a directory for each of the classes you've taken. We are looking for the Period 2, Semester 2 Web Design class. Double click that, and inside of that you should find your Web Design 101 directory. And again, I have more files, but you should have at least an HTML5 and a CSS practice file. So today we're going to work on getting the HTML working in Repl. So we need to go back to our web page and open a new tab. We're going to go to the Repl website, repl.it. We're going to log in. We're going to use our Google credentials. Excuse me. This should bring you in. If you haven't created it, there'll be some questions. But if you haven't created your Repl account, you need to go back and do that assignment. So we're going to go to My Repl. In the previous assignment, I had you create an HTML practice directory. Whenever you create an HTML Repl, it's going to create this basic structure, an index.html, which is always your home page, Java or a script.js file, which should be empty, and a style sheet, styles.css, which is also empty. In the index.html, it provides links to those style sheets. Here's the style.css, and here's the script.js. So that is already set up for you. Now, one thing with Repl is it only runs the index file. So any file we add, we have to add a link to index to make it work. So let's do that. So first of all, we're going to add our HTML5.html direct folder, or a program we did in class. And I'm going to click on Run, and you're going to see that nothing happens because it only runs the index. So now to access that, we need to create a link. And now we did that with the anchor tag. So href equals open parenthesis html5.html. We're going to close the opening tag of the A. Remember, everything in between the opening and closing tag and an anchor is the link. So we're going to make that html5. And then we're going to close the anchor tag. So now when we run that, we should get a link, which we do, and I click on it, and it says file not found. So unlike when we work at home or worked on in school with Notepad++, case did not matter. In Repl, case does matter. So you notice that our file name is HTML5, all uppercase. So we need to match that in our code. So I'm going to take that out and I'm going to do a capital HTML5. I'm going to run that and click on the link again, and my file should show up now. If we look at the program itself, you can actually see we have the body color and some CSS work that I did. I'm not sure if you have that CSS work in your program, but we'll be adding that if you have not. All right, so the next thing we need to deal with is the pictures. So obviously there's placeholders for these pictures. Let's go take a look at the code. So it's looking for a HTML5 logo, an Xbox logo or JPEG, and a cat JPEG. So let's go back to our files. Those should be in the images directory. So problem with, you cannot drag and drop an image folder. If you'll notice, there's a little red X by that. So we have to actually create the folder. We do that by coming up here and adding a folder. And we're going to call it images. And again, we use lowercase. So we want to make sure that we use lowercase in the images as well. So now that we have that directory, I'm going to go back to my files. I'm going to open images. I'm going to drag across all of them so they're all check marked, or you can check mark them individually as you needed. So once they're checked, you can click and drag, and we're going to drop that in our images file. So make sure you are accessing it that way. All right, so now we're going to run again to reload. Open the HTML5, scroll down. Okay, so the HTML5 logo came in, but we still have issues with the Xbox because that is a lowercase x in my code and an uppercase file name. So we're going to click on the hot dog next to it and click rename and make sure that it is a lowercase x. And the other one we need to access is the cat video or the cat image, and that's already lowercase. Oh, except for the JPG is uppercase. So that didn't, we need to make it match. So cat was lowercase, but the JPG was not. It is now. I'm going to run that again. So notice it runs the index.html again. I'm going to open that up, scroll down, and there's our pictures. We will deal with the video and the other images that we need to deal with as we go through. You should get them all working.